Thank you for tuning in. We've got some beautiful channels. So thank you. My name is Celeste, also known as my past energy as Joanna. I am an Ascension teacher, conduit, empath, crystal healer. When I say crystal, that means I'm a crystal child. I'm an empath. Whatever the words that are out there as far as God has called it, advanced ones. So I'm going to be going over a bunch of channels that I've been taking for the past couple of months. I've taken a bit of a hiatus just to do some healing and direction from my guides, just to kind of take myself out of the collective mix, if you will, and just focus on my energy with Source Creator. So I'm very excited. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to assist everybody. So today we're just going to be doing hello, sweetheart, hello. If you can just keep the comments, there is investigations going on with the IP addresses because I have taken a hiatus just because of the blatant group people signing on whenever I go live. So there is people investigating it. So I'm really happy that God has chosen, Source Creator has chosen those that are of the highest levels that do want justice for humanity, that have been realizing that there is an organized scheme to keep certain light workers and certain subjects. And so there are IP addresses that are being watched and investigated. So I'm very happy that there are some really truly good investigators out there that do watch my channel and that are taking heed of the predictions that Source allows me to channel through for the greater good, the Divine Father's plan of humanity moving forward in collective love and light. And so it is my role. I'm an ambassador of light. I work with councils of light, which I call systems of light, which are infinite beings of infinite consciousness all the way up to the 13th dimension, but does include multiverse energies that I also channel, preparing humanity for the integration of light body, which is your alignment with your higher self. It is a very sacred process. It's a sacred enlightenment process, and it's what we've taught about in ancient temples. And so as you do the soul healing, which is all that I teach about your soul fragment healing, understand the psyche wounds, and how each and every one of us come here, every human does, we believe it or not, every human comes with 51% of their soul's fragments to heal and integrate back into the soul so that you become soul infused, which is what I am, soul infused being. And of course, the more that I continue on my path, I'll be fully soul infused, and then I'll be able to travel in and out within my Merkaba, which is what I teach you, is how to create that 51% of healing of your soul fragments, that you can be in alignment for the Christic light body, the Metatronic light body. And then it allows you to be that soul-infused being, so it doesn't matter what timeline, what energies that you've ever come from and what you've practiced in other timelines or bodies or forms, in that healing and in that rebalancing of reunification of self, the divine feminine masculine woundings that we've each taken on, you can access those gifts, skills, and talents. And why some of us just have really excited paths of assisting others, and they are at a soul level. And so that's my excitement. It's always been my excitement, so I'm really happy. So we're going to talk about, I've got lots of channels. I'm going to go as fast as I can. We just had 20 people sign on at once. And so I just wanted to make that a note. So the IP addresses are being investigated. There are really great investigators that are working on behalf. Cluedo, just make sure you just bump anybody off. I'm not going to pay attention to the comments because as you can see, 20 just signed on at once, which means that they are grouped and they are organized anytime that I go live, and off for about two months. And so that just lets everybody know on the investigative side that there are groups that know when I go live and they turn on all at once. So we're going to talk today about the channels that I've got and what occurs when you're moving in the spiral of ascension, which is everything. We're always evolving, whether you choose to believe it or not. I am being protected by the divine holy light. Thank you, Archangel Michael, and all of the beings of the councils that are. So thank you, and all of these people that are in groups sending negative energies. Just know those that choose to align with the eternal life programs, with your higher self, and doing everything that is in loving and respect for you, that you will be protected as well, because Archangel Michael is with me. I have the legions that are always with me, and I'm trillionfold deep in my protection. As you can see, they've just signed off. So thank you. And so that's just giving proof to those investigating my channel that there is blatant, organized online technology abuse that goes on, and so those IP addresses will be watched. And YouTube is also aware of it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through the spiral that everybody exists within. My passion is to teach and honor about everything that I've been teaching throughout my lifetimes as a part of the councils of light, as how and what and who we are, what we exist within, how we move about all timelines and all dimensions, which is what Jesus spoke about, was allowing ourselves to understand source at a higher vibration dimensional level, so that you can call in aspects and practice yourself in being chronic light, practice yourself in being a soul infused being, so that in every day you can start to call for those gifts and skills that you've earned. It's all yours. You've earned it through your Akash, you've earned it through your travels and your sojourns, through various dimensions of 0 to 5D, because that's all we're talking about. And in your transmutation and integration of those soul fragments, most of them are divine feminine, divine masculine woundings that you've had in those lifetimes, and integrating it into the now, you absolutely carry more light so that your cells oscillate faster, your blood is richer and more pure. All that you're operating in is soul infused. You release judgment, you release the negativity, you release self-judgment and shame and all of those envy and jealousy and all the things that have been why secret societies and cults and covens, and those that have been misguided, those that have been persuaded by dark practices. There's so much miscommunication. If you've been reading any of my blog posts, I'm ready. I'm being prepared to get to the core of how and why such collective woundings have occurred. Many of the posts and information that I've been a part of, which is only downloaded to me from what the Pleiadians and Mother Father have told me. I'm the only one that has been talking about the Adam Eve Project, which is how humanity right now, everybody on earth, whether they know it or not, it's part of their soul's contract to go within and look at who are we as Adam, who are we as Eve, what misguidings and what's misinformations we've had about the divine feminine, divine masculine. And within your soul's blueprint, each and every person has to look at their beliefs and their perspectives about what they've been taught and told, because we're going from a 3D paradigm to a 5D paradigm in which it's not going to be linear. You're going to be able to tap into that soul-infused aspect of who you are. And so sometimes you're going to need to behave from a divine feminine, sometimes you're going to need to behave from a divine masculine energy, depending on what it is you're trying to manifest, what it is you're trying to alchemize. Now, they're just showing me a higher vibration channel of those of us that are mostly soul infused to this point, because we've integrated a lot of our shadow aspects. And those shadow aspects enlighten, and they bring forth in this new now moment a higher vibrational harmonized version of you as being divine feminine, divine masculine, what we've called as androgynous. As you're an androgynous being, you're working in a higher harmony of light quotient. You just are, because you've harmonized. You're not on one or the other. You're equally balanced, which is what I teach you if you're doing your daily ascension path work, right? We want you to be more harmonized in the middle of who you are. I'm the only one that teaches divine relationship. And so that was downloaded to me many, many years ago by the Divine Mother and Mother Mary. So all of those experiences of what we're talking about and what we see in our collective and what you're able to see, because it's your path. Every single human is on a different path. They're on a different aspect of who they are, what they exist within, and what's going on within them. And that's why I suggest doing your daily path work, because the more conscious you are about what's coming up for a trigger, what's coming up as far as a divine masculine, feminine wounding, you can then integrate those lessons for yourself and act and behave from a higher consciousness state. You want to be conscious, aware, living from this divine sacred heart space. And as you become that soul-infused, heart-conscious, aware being, you're able to see the active from a detached perspective and yet still hold compassion, like I am, wanting to get to the core vibration of how and why did such woundings occur? How and why did such hate organized experiences occur? Where is the core wounding? Because it is the separation of self with spirit. And the only reason why I survived was because of my strong sense of self and because of my strong alignment with Source Creator, the Spirit, my sense of self. My book 4 is called The Alliance with Light. Understanding in that harmonized who you are, as Jesus has often told me and shown me, as I had a vision with him the night before he was persecuted and crucified. I was with him in his emotional outcry, and he was saying, he didn't understand fiction and what he was going to be walking into. And he said to me, I cannot take what I know. It doesn't matter how many times that they think they can try and kill a person or a being. That energy of Source Creator harmonization will always be. That's why Jesus' energy still lives on today. And so I'm really happy that Mother and Father have bestowed the Messiah leadership onto me. I've earned it over many, many lifetimes, and I'm forwarding my Jesus, the Holy Creator, and all of the teachings that are within the light, the meta light, as who we are, and transcending what has been church and state that has kept us very small and separate and silenced. And what I've been saying more recently is, as the collective is showing ourselves more and more, what is needed immediately is light wisdom healing and understanding the imbalances of divine feminine masculine wounds within each and every one of us, and then transcending the church and state beliefs that hold us in suppression and separation and discrimination. And it has to be a global experience, because as we're seeing, these secret societies that have been organized by the higher ups and elites and various fractions of church and state, which has given me a channel last night, I think, if you go back on my website, of a YouTube platform that is still shadow banned and is still silenced. So we'll see what happens today when I upload my video. We'll see what happens. But you just bet, because there was the 20 people that signed on at the beginning, that they'll most likely be messing with my numbers. But at least people are investigating, and they do know there is, Spirit did show me, there is absolutely validation of everything that I've been saying in all of my videos for the past 3 years, that I've been calling these organized groups out for the suppression and sabotage and defamation of lightworkers like myself, when we've just come to teach a higher vibrational way of being, a higher vibrational way of living within ourselves as source creator, seeing God in new perspectives beyond church and state. The only way to move forward into 5D, into a higher consciousness state, is through the process of healing and integration that I teach, and integrating those soul fragments of wounding of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, so you can be a more harmonized aspect of self. Anything that is given to you in lower vibrational communities, cults, or sects, even if it's a Masonic group, if they're not speaking of the higher entrainment of light through the higher self, then be very discerning of the information you take, because there is so much misguidance for selfish gain and selfish direction of where your energy is going and how you're being led into. Of what we've been seeing is humanity dissecting itself into data and information, because it's easier to be controlled and suppressed, and the suppression of expression, which is about a lot of those agendas. And so Spirit did say on my channel last night that there will be seen and shown. I do channels whenever Source says. If I'm falling asleep and Source has put this out, I put it out as I did last night, I think at about 10:30, that there will be those that have been organized hits on my life, and the sabotage and the somatic sabotaging that has been on the advanced ones, which is what I am categorized by the heavens and the councils, and what those various organized elite groups and the corrupt governments have been doing since I was involved with the Project Stargate, that they're refusing to be accountable for, and they're refusing to give me the files of my birth information and the monies that are legally mine. And there's been many name changes and falsification of paperwork that all of the secret cult in Calgary and the being know of what they've been told from the people that are higher up, and the direction of hits on my life. All of that will be known. Spirit did show me that many of the secret societies across the globe that are directly related to global organized direction of hits and direction of sabotage of light workers, they're wanting to suppression on how and what humanity hears and knows about who we are, what we exist with, what's going on within us, which is the 3 questions that we ask in enlightenment. What I teach is no different than what taught on the Gaia channel. It's higher consciousness information, it's light consciousness information. All of the top channelers, Lee Carroll, Daryl Scranton, all of the higher vibration channels are gifted the same information of Source Creator, the Divine Father's plan for evolution. Every human on the planet has the universal birthright to ascend. And it's up to every human to ask themselves daily in the Ascension pathwork that I've been offering for about 17 years. I've written 3 books. I'm on to my 4th and 5th book. And I've really had a full, really profound cleansing and clearing for my creative energies. And I've been writing like crazy. So I'm on a really great high, because I'm like a lot of my creative writing. So there's going to be so much that I'm going to be producing in the future. I'm really happy about it. And in that, we get to discover, all that we are is that soul-infused being, because your divine feminine masculine energy is synchronized, and you're no longer fighting with yourself. You're no longer suppressing what really needs to come forward. And that's a really top healing experience for all humanity that I've been writing about for so many years, because I saw about 5 years ago, if you go back to my videos, saw about 5 years ago that they were tending to go into a direction of more and more suppression of humanity and the suppression of our expression. And they're slowly doing it, and they're slowly coming out with government, parliament laws and things like that are slowly humanity and diverting us into data fields, if you will. And that's why it's important to do your ascension work, so that you're taking yourself out of the matrix and really asking yourself those pivotal questions of lower vibrational church and state beliefs, of how you've given your power away, how you reduced yourself in a divine feminine energy expression or a divine masculine energy expression. And we all know that divine masculine energies, and I've been really focusing my energy on sort of light and healing to the divine masculine this week, because a lot of the abuses by birth, they were brought on from the divine masculine's wounding to keep me suppressed and use me as a harvesting. And most of the people that have been involved in the suppression and the degradation and destruction of my life, they were mostly masculines that were involved. YouTube platform has been absolutely true, and the predictions are coming forward. The people that have been involved are starting to come forward from the global, this is what Source showed me. Because Source is all beings, right? Source is being, God is within every being. And it's up to the higher self and the guides and the ancestors that assist the human in the flesh to bring forward what needs to for that soul's evolution. Even if that soul is on its way out, if you will, because it cannot maintain the minimum of a new dimension that our light omnipresent is bathing humanity in, because only God knows that core vibration that every person is in. Source knows what actions and deeds that every core person has done. And these are on at the highest levels, all the way up to the 13th dimension. You and your lineage and your ancestors choose every soul. Its soul itself chooses when it leaves and takes itself out, along with Source Creator. So Source Creator showed me in this image like this. Source Creator is in all dots, because all dots are aspects of you. They're aspects of the creative collective that are mirroring back to you the wounding and the imbalances of divine feminine masculine. The intention is to reunify all that. So you're a whole unified person. That's unity and oneness. That's all that Source is. Source is all that is. Source is all oneness and diversity of unity. And so in that, Source showed me that those that have been in the lower vibrational dark occult societies, cults and covens that behave in using dark occult practices to interfere, destiny swap, warp, MK Ultra type of schemes and schematics and systematic abuses on those daily. It's a very organized experience. It's a very deep pockets of resources that they are directed under. But they take full responsibility themselves. If they choose to hurt somebody, if they choose to sacrifice somebody, everybody has to take responsibility. It's your choice. But there is a lot of mind scraping, a lot of mental manipulation. There is a lot of spiritual warfare. There's technology warfare. There's so much involved in these suppressions done that Spirit showed me that what Spirit has seen is, because I'm in the advanced pocket, the advanced ones, these are Source's words, not mine. So if you go back to all my channels, what I put in quotes is Source's words. So this is from the top down of the 13th dimension, looking at the global organized experiences and how they have been choosing to operate from domination and control to suppress humanity from ascending, because it's easier to control when your mind has been entrained to give your power away to lower vibrational mindsets and debauchery. So as you get into a debauched state within yourself and you're not knowing who you are, you tend to go into those black web experiences and exploitation, which is all that I was experiencing. I was being sold and trafficked and used and harvested, and I had no idea. There was obviously no permissions or no authority. I've only signed my divorce in the past 8 years. Nobody's had any permission to use my work or my image in any way of any kind. I would have never allowed it, because I'm a humanitarian, I'm a human rights advocate. And plus, I used to work at the Public Trustee's Office, so I understand what goes into any level of power of attorney that anybody has rights to sign or speak on behalf of you, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or sexually. You're in your divine sovereign right, which is what I've always taught, because that is being a divine sovereign of your creatorhood, your godlyhood. Nobody has say over your spirit, your mind, your body, or your soul. And there's many organized programs of elites and various corrupt governments and agendas that are, their agenda is to suppress and silence those of us that they've been known, because I'm an advanced one, because I was in Project Stargate. And many of the experiences through my life, they didn't expect me to survive, the ones that were directing the hits. Their intention was for me not to be here, obviously. And so Spirit and God made it, as well as my soul's journey, to transcend and be the voice of all of those that were not able to make it through the mental manipulation and the mind scraping. Mind scraping was the word that Source gave me. There's a video that I have on my Ascension playlist, and it's called You Are Supported. I think I posted it this morning. And that user-supported video was the very first term that God gave me, only gives me because that is how Source creates. The downloads that are given just for me are for the Source conduits. Because the interfacing of the collective, what the collective needs to hear. And we are only given certain words and terms because now that there are those, the higher Archangel Michael investigators, if you will, that also want justice for humanity, that also want those that are abusing the human rights, those that are abusing the spiritual laws, those that are abusing universal laws, those that practice and live in the dark occults to interfere, warp, and sabotage others, that those, there are investigators that are now seeing that there is a global trend. They are having proof, they're validations, they're doing investigations behind the scenes, and everything that I've been predicting is coming forward because it's obvious from Source. So what Source showed me was that in these little pockets of organized hate groups, and they incite warlike energy to those of us that are coming to speak peace and unification and higher light wisdom. Because higher light wisdom and Christ consciousness, it's a vibrational experience. You get vibrationally activated. And so those of you that book a session with me, all of the classes that I've ever taught, they are vibrational experiences because I'm a conduit, I'm a vibrational. As we talked about in a couple videos ago, that not all healers are the same, obviously, because they each have different sojourns that they move on. Some are not as advanced, some are not as initiated with the masters. So every is different, and that's why you'll be attracted to certain healers and certain speakers based on where their vibrational soul integration is. Everything is about soul integration. Because I've been doing this for so long and I am a master, I'm working with the masters every day. I work with the councils of light, I'm a Source conduit, I'm a vibrational healer. That's because I've integrated a lot of my soul experiences and my gifts and skills and talents, because that's just my passion. I love being a teacher, I love being a healer, I'm a vibrational healer. I work with vibration every day, I'm Source creator. Mother and Father have chosen me to have this role within the creative collective. It is my destiny because I've earned it over so many eons that I've had to be initiated with world leaders. And I didn't know this until just about a month ago or 2 months ago. And Spirit, my record thus far is unblemished, which means that I didn't abuse my power. I didn't abuse any of my spiritual gifts, which I could have. Those that have been working against me, if you will, that have been doing the directing of hits and been paid to do dark occult magic and sacrifices and voodoo on me as a child, all of these people have abused their power, they've abused their gifts and talents, and they've all been stripped. So that means they're no longer allowed to abuse using what they think is their gifts because they've been abusing all spiritual laws. They were tunneling into my Akash and timelines and do dream raping and all of those things. They've done everything that you can think of to get into energy and take and steal and destiny swap who I am as a soul. And it's ridiculous, they can't, because they have not earned my soul fragments. You cannot operate from a higher functioning 5D if you're low 3D stealing and warping and stealing destiny. So it's, again, so much misguidance in the lower dark vibrational cults and covens. They've been given misinformation, they've been given misguidances, and all of them are right now getting karma. And the only way through is truth and redemption of doing and making right. So I'll tell you, I'm reaving things back and forth really fast because I have so much I want to get through. So Source showed me this 2 days ago in a vision like this, where we'll just look at that, we'll encapsulate that as the collective. This is a creative collective, and every little dot is a soul. Every human that has been a part of destroying and sabotaging my life for their personal and private gain, whether it be a cult, a sect, misogynist, masochistic, black web, doesn't matter what their intentions were. Right now, Spirit said, which I'll read to you, they're given 6 months, but that is for the ones at the very top to come forward clear and clean and cleanse and make right what they've done. And the directions of inciting warlike energies, hatred, separation, discrimination, misogyny into the collective communities, because that was their intention, was to take me out, to sabotage, to derail, to everything that you can physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. Start to deconstruct those aspects of me so that I would lose myself with Spirit, Source, Creator. And as I said back earlier, as Jesus said to me, take what I know who I am. I'm one with Source Creator. I am the Divine Feminine Messiah as Source Creator. And if it's not up to me to prove it to anybody, if anybody has a problem with that because of their small-mindedness and their beliefs and their discrimination, their judgments, you can take that up with God. But I've come forward in such truth because I've come forward in my own light, because I'm come forward because I'm healed. Spirit showed me that there's so many people that were attacking me because they're sitting in the position of what they chose in their soul's contract to experience for themselves in the darker side, because there's always a light and a shadow. So as the light moves forward, There are the organized groups that have been sent to those of us that have been moving in our North Node. We've been seeing and being and living in our highest light consciousness, no matter how hard it is. Even if you're homeless, you still come forward and you present your passions. And that's when Source, Creator, and the multiverse responds in kind. So Spirit shows those ones that are operating in those dark cults and covens in an image like this of the collective. God, Source, Creator, just took an inhale of a breath, and those 50 people were just taken out and wrapped back in Source, Creator. Because we have to understand, as I've talked about before, those of spiral are an omnipresent upliftment of the base core vibration of humanity. Spirit called such beings that are constantly acting in demonic entity attachment energies, where they're obsessed and they're relentless about attacking you because they're feeding that demon, because my energy has been cut off from them. They're feeling the obsession to try to get my energy or my gifts and skills and talents, because that's their belief that keeps rotating them on that dark demonic pattern. That Spirit called this is Spirit's words, not mine. So again, we're going to have ecological research. We're going to have to do studies about people that have been involved in these cults, covens, and sects, as well as the MK Ultra, Project Stargate. As far as I know, I'm one of the only ones that's as fully integrated as I am, only one that is ranked the way that I am, and I've survived. So that's what I've been told. So in that, Spirit showed me that the 50 of the viruses, those that continually act and behave in a relentless, must-have, stalk, take, spy, hack, sabotage, throw black magic, get the 20 at a time signing on to her live stream, because that's the entity attachments that they're working from. And it has to be better understood. The only way to better understand collective warping of the physical, mental, and spiritual is, again, what I teach. And so why, again, they've suppressed me is because the energies and the wisdoms that are needed in the collective, the communities aren't doing most of the time, because a lot of them are still under the fog of black magic and voodoo. A lot of them are enforced prostitution, the trafficking rings and the RICO and all of that kind of stuff. And most of the women, then most of the children that are in these experiences that are sold to the black web, their energies are sold, their gifts and their skills. Like, I don't know how many times I was sold. I think they said 200 plus. My name and my energies for the spiritual underground black market. It was sold over 200 times. There's no permissions on any level. So I had to go back and heal and reclaim all of those, all aspects of light that people were using and listening from me, which left me every day in, suffering mode, because my energy is going to an entire city, because these are God's words, not mine, parasites and viruses, they feed and they do rituals to keep feeding off of your energy. Some of the warlocks and witches know what they are doing. They use themselves and they cloak the children's energy, which is very innocent and pure. These cloak themselves in children's energy to seem very pure and innocent, but they're not. They're walk criminals, because they behave from their entity and they feed their entity, whatever that entity is, whether it's entity of jealousy, an entity of greed or gluttony. If they haven't healed those childhood woundings, then entity will keep provoking them in a more obsessed experience for them to keep at whatever sustainment of light energy, which is their life force. It has all been cut off from those of us that were gang harvested, group harvested from people fucking world, and nobody had any right to do so. So these things have been done since I was a child. There's been lots of practices on rituals and taking me out. I think there's close to 50 now. Spirit is showing me 50 sacrifices on my life, 1,500 different rituals to block my chakras, to block my connection with Source. They've tried everything and everything. And obviously Spirit has told all people that I will not be touched, because I am very important to the multiverse systems of light evolution. It's my destiny for me to be fully liberated and helping humanity. I'm a matriarch messiah of the holy family, of the royal family, and my job and my role here is to assist humanity in awakening and evolving beyond lower vibrational church and state, to discern for yourself and start working and reclaiming your power, start reclaiming your voice, start reclaiming your light, because you're going to be the teachers, healers, and leaders, as most of my beautiful disciples, the ones that have been with me since the very beginning. I'm so grateful and I'm so in love with you, and Archangel Mike absolutely protecting you all the way. So just know that the ones that have been giving donations where they can for me to rebuild my life, from the homelessness and the withholding of my monies, the withholding of my information, the withholding of my life, that's part of the systematic approach there that these cults and covens and sects have been directed to target certain individuals. And again, why our platforms are shadow banned, and why you see 20 and 30 signing on at one time to do their energy work behind the scenes. But just know, Archangel, those of you that are here for the highest and the best of your soul, Archangel Michael is protecting each and every. So just know that. So don't ever worry about anybody on the line affecting you, because all of their energies are returning, and there is a notice. So you're going to see many just be sucked out of the reality, as God showed me. It's just as much as God to take an inhale, to pull back all of those viruses. These are God's words, not mine. Source creator words, not mine. Systems of light words, not mine. They've called them viruses that have been attacking the advanced ones, because they don't want humanity to awaken. They don't want us to be on our highest north node. And so these are the channels that I provide on my channel. And so we're just gonna, there was something really important that I had a download from a little while ago. I wanted to give you that preamble because I do have a channel, a 6-page channel that I got downloaded this morning, but I do have a few little bits and pieces from the past couple of months because I had to take a bit of a hiatus. So I'm so thankful for everybody for signing on, and any donations that you can send if you want to book sessions. Oh, thank you, Cluedo. Thank you for just being in the little chat room there. So those of us that have been on the path for a really long time, many of us have been a part of rewriting the original Keys of Enoch, the Book of Wisdom and the Book of Knowledge is called. It's been one of my go-to books. It's something that I've used as part of my, if you will, which means that it's my always go-to for the higher vibrational wisdoms. It's a beautiful, the one that I use and the one that I've gone to many, many times, that understands the recapitulation of the older fragments of yourself, the soul fragments. Recapitulation is just what we're talking about, is reintegrating those soul fragments at a higher relating light, because you've loved and you've given yourself love and care and compassion. That is recapitulation. All the older aspects of you fall off, the older beliefs, older perspectives, older way you were, older ways of what you thought God was and Creator was. That's what recapitulation is. And so in the Keys of Enoch in the Book of Wisdom, that's one of my favorite books. It's about that thick, and I read it all the time. I think it's on my 6th or 7th time reading it. I was also part of writing it, the original one. But I just wanted to use this as a caveat, and I want you to write this down because this is where we're going. Even in the book of the Keys of Enoch, the Book of Wisdom, the Book of Knowledge, there are many parts of it that I thought, wow, this is my go-to book, and it's kind of a standard foundation, and it is. But there's one on the page, and I just opened the book. This is just how God works with me. Source works with me, Mother, Father, is when I open up a page, there's usually something on that page that has everything to do with what I'm going through in that moment, and how the collective, because I'm a conduit for the collective, I have it interfacing. I see the threads of dimension. I see the threads of how Source Creator is moving in the dimensional threads, the harmonic threads of every dimension, 3, 4, 5. And those of the information of Source Creator that need those energy vibrations and those pulsations of the crazy consciousness, which is what I offer. And so on page 281 of the Keys of Enoch by J.J. Hurtak, he's the one that channeled the Keys of Enoch in this Book of Wisdom that has been the most recent formulation of the Keys of Enoch. There's many older ones, but I choose the J.J. Hurtak one. I think he's a twice doctor, a very intelligent man. But I just wanted to say this caveat. As well, and as high vibrational as this book is, there are things within the book that are changing and recapitulating. And so this is really exciting for me, because part of what I turned to was page 281, and there was a paragraph in there, and it says, I'm reading it to you word for word is what it says. The Father said, the Father's plan for the old theories was that mates that are coming together in union and soul union were not allowed to mate and have offspring with specific races because of the degradation and the de-evolution of how that species had gone. We're seeing it right now. Many will call it the reptilians that have been in control, the Illuminati, if you will, to keep downgrading the divine DNA from its light of Source Creator, which is what I teach. When you become soul infused, you're increasing the light oscillation within your cells, your DNA gets activated, and all that you are becomes a higher oscillating base. Remember the base oscillating energy that you must have, and why Spirit showed me those 50 people taking out that virus. They were not able to hold even a bare minimum of the base vibration of the new dimension that Earth is now moving into in the omnipresent Source Creator light. As those viruses are taking out, what does it do? It offers a higher vibrational base minimum for the rest of the collective, because those viruses have been taken out. Because they're operating in hate anymore that have been directly related to the deconstruction or the cancer within those certain cells, cities, and communities. And so that's why there has to be those times where Source will just inhale and take those souls and those energies out, because it's adding detriment to the overall Divine Father's plan. And that is up to the Divine Father and every soul that is involved. Have they done enough to alchemize? Have they done enough to recapitulate means of divine feminine, divine masculine, why they chose those beliefs of destruction, why they chose those beliefs of defamation, why they chose those beliefs of sabotage on an innocent healer? So all of those things have to be taken into consideration. Why I write what I write every day. There is no offer divine where you're given infinite lifetimes in a 3D experience to learn your soul lesson. This is it. This is the last 3D timeline. You're responsible of 51% of your divine feminine, your divine masculine woundings for you to recapitulate in higher oscillating, bare base minimum of who your soul is operating at. And there are very sacred practices, very easy daily sacred practices for self-love, self-compassion, and just reintegrating those aspects of self into self. To just as people that have, if you will, and why there's so many different religions that have separated us and discriminated against us, and why there's been so many attacks on me, of divine feminine messiah, if you will. The understanding that if we just take this book and we just stay in that book and we stay in the learning of that book and we stay in the passage of what I just read, then we're leaving ourselves not for the capacity and the expansiveness of what Source truly is. And Source is all about divinity and expanding and unity and divine creativity and divine creational expression of Source and being the expression of Source. And so when I read that, it just, I was like, holy cow, what do you mean, Spirit? Because you've just shown me the opposite. So I'll read that again. The Father's plan within these old constructs on page 281 of the Keys of Enoch, the Book of Wisdom, mating with certain species of particular races have been taken out of the Father's plan because of the degradation of those species. And we're seeing right now that there are many bloodlines that just won't continue because of the damages that they have done. They did not follow spiritual laws in any way. They did not do enough alchemy. They chose to continually do dark occult practices even though they were told not to. They did not heed their spiritual guidance. They did not heed the billions of videos and the billions of postings that I've been saying. If you do that, you're not going to be able to come back. So when they've been given such heatings, and my responsibility was to play as bait for many of these old timeline species where they were constantly degrading lineage after lineage after lineage after lineage, there gets to be a point, which is what they've shown me as well, is that because there was so much damage done on the cells, the tissues, the bodies, the muscles, the brain didn't get its higher advancement of light because your brain has to be adjusted. Every new spiral of ascension, because you're going from linear to non-linear, you're going from very 3D to multidimensional. Your brain has to be adjusted in how you hold memory, what a really memory is. You know, you're being adjusted by crystal light all the time. And so you have to have higher vibrational consciousness thoughts. That is what consciousness is practicing that higher vibrational knowingness of who you are, what you exist, what's going on with you. That's consciousness. Not practicing higher consciousness, you're not going to jump into a higher dimensional experience. You just won't. You have to earn it. Your consciousness is earned. Your consciousness is earned by that transmutation. Your body can only do so much. But with the lower vibrational organized schematics of systematic abuse and the relentless obsessive daily attacks with dark energy and it's enforcement of hate, it's enforcement of darkness. It does absolutely disrepair the body, and the body cannot transmute any light at all. It stays in its entity attachment. So it affects the multidimensional bodies, physical, mental, emotional, the tissues, the cells. It affects the light getting to the DNA for it to be activated, which will degrade and de-evolve. And therefore, thus then, your body cannot do its optimum work because your body can only do so much. And if you're not practicing daily ascension, if you're not practicing using light, if you're not practicing self-love and self-harmonization of your divine feminine masculine energies and all that I teach, and if you're not doing that, your body can only do so much. And especially with the global organized defamation and degradation of our light, keeping my wisdom suppressed and other light workers like myself suppressed, keeping us attacked and sabotaged and withheld from, I shouldn't have survived. There's no way I should have survived what was done to me from the time that I was born. I am an advanced one because I'm here to assist humanity in moving through the 5D gates. That's my role. And so the body can only do so much. So this is where we have to be very willing and spirit channel. And I think I wrote it about a month ago that the damages that were done to me were worse than they had thought. They did an analysis and they put me through a multi-dimensional chamber of review. And so they've been working double time, overtime. So this is why I say work with your teams every night on your healing, because your teams are doing the best they can. You're doing your best you can in the higher ethers when you're in dream time. But if you're not doing it in your waking state, if you're allowing yourself to be around karmic people that work in dark occult and they continually abuse you, if you're continually allowing yourself to be around superficial, low vibrational fake people, if you're not heeding your spiritual guidance from within on higher soul vibrational contracts, higher soul vibrational loving contracts, not being with nature, if you're not doing those things, your teams can only do so much. Your body can only, as we talked about capacity and aptitude, your body can only transmute so much. And if there's organized global every city that are systematically abusing, systematically attacking and playing and hunger games with light workers like myself, this is where God is called a no tolerance. This is God, the hand of God is actually touching every single human that is continually working these dark occult degrading groups, because it is going in opposition of every spiritual law. Everybody's been given enough warning. The hand of God is now clearing everything out, and as much as a breath, those viruses will be taken out so that the rest of us have our birthright to continually to evolve. So I'm just giving you as a collective, those are the energies that we're seeing going on, and there are now, thank God, there are now really good investigators that are on my case and working on the investigation. They're doing IP address searches. They're investigating monies going in and out. They're investigating the top dogs that are directing the hits to these lower vibrational community, sabotaging slow dagger people that are doing spiritual hits on a daily basis. I have my rights to be who I am. I have the rights to speak in who I am. I have the rights to be exactly the Messiah I'm going to be and I've always been. And there's nothing that anybody can do to take me off my path. And who are they to do that anyways? Nobody has the right to say who I'm going to be and what I'm going to be. I'm aligned with God and God will support me by trillionfold. So I was that everybody's been taught, told, and shown. But I just wanted to say that one passage from page 281 from the books that we always thought are really high vibrational. It's a very high vibrational book. I go to it all the time. It's a beautiful book that talks about the science behind ascension, the science behind where humanity has been. But then passage, and I'm going to go further on this because I want to get to my channel. I'm going to try and get so much today because I've been gone for so long. There were certain species that Spirit had said no because there's been too much degradation, and those species did not come forward in the plan within the galaxy. I'm talking the galaxy, I'm just talking as universe. I'm just giving this as an example. This isn't the true example. I'm just giving this as an example because this is what people most know of as the Illuminati and the reptilians. If the reptilians have not done enough making right and bringing truth and healing what they have done, those species will not be able to have lineage any further. So this is where we're at. This is how much abuse has gone on. This is how much not heeding spirit that these people have done. They've affected their entire lineage. Their entire lineage will be cursed and then taken out because you cannot, again, it's all about your light and your core vibration. If you are not maintaining a core vibration of the collective ascension energy, the collective omnipresent, the collective oscillizing core vibration of who you are, if you are not allowing yourself to how important is your evolution, how important is your soul's vibration, how important is your healing and your self-love, how important is your universe creator oneness unity. If those things are not important to you, you're going to start slowing down and lead into the negative entropy. And so that statement that I read to you was all about entropy because the people and the species and the beings that were choosing dark occult practices of domination, power, greed, and gluttony, they weren't healing the wounds of the 7 sins, if you will. Greed, jealousy, envy, all of those things that can allow you to reharmonize because it's part of your 51% to heal and reintegrate. Those certain species were choosing not to do that. So I'm going to be offered any more timelines in a body because this is the last 3D timeline. They cannot jump into a 5D body. Their consciousness has not been earned. They do not have a 5D consciousness. You cannot go from a linear perspective and then jump to consciousness where it's non-linear. You just can't. Conscious is earned. You have to earn consciousness through daily consciousness practice, aptitude and capacity. 3 E's, 3 A's. Has to be earned. And my teachings are not out there. You can go to the Gaia channel. There's lots of things being taught on the Gaia channel. I teach you how to ascend and transmute that 51% of your psyche experiences so that you can be a soul-infused, harmonized being where you're infinitely creative, you're infinitely with source. So I wanted to say that about that. Anything that you hold, anything that you hide, and anything that you call as a caveat, as your be-all and end-all, that is even changing because here's the second part of that. Because now we've seen this idea, we're just giving an example of the reptilian species have not done enough clearing. They have not done enough making right. They have not come forward and done what they were offered to do for 3 years. In just my case, we're just giving my case as an example. There were many that were involved, very long, first standing lineages since the royal family, since higher light Christ consciousness was introduced into earth, the Pleiadian seed, if you will, the Pleiadian light. Part of that is the eternal life, the Pleiadian seed to assist us in ascending beyond a 3D state. So our DNA was amplified and altered and enhanced a long time ago. There has been these spiritual wars since the very beginning of time. Now, since this is God's divine plan, God discerns this. All of the energies that were in those species and those lineages, they're now at a point, and they've been given cut off, that their lineages are no longer going to be able to continue because they haven't maintained the base minimum of the collective oscillizing energy, of the omnipresent energy of where Gaia is moving, where our collective is moving in ascension. But we also want you to equally understand that if you're not doing your daily work, if you're not doing your daily healing, then your responsibility is to maintain your vibration. And what are you doing, thought, word, and deed? And what are you doing with your environment? And who are you allowing around you? Constantly bring your vibration down, and for you to jeopardize and not set the boundaries you need to set. For yourself to be a master and carry on in a light lineage, because your light lineage affects your children, your grandchildren, and so on. So part of that is now, this is the channel that God gave me. So I said, okay, well, God, you said that there are certain species we're not meant to intermate with because they've done so much degradation. They're not back into the Divine Father's plan of evolution for light. They were given so much time. They were given so many eons to make right on the damages they had done, like taking out entire families. Their intention was to take out my entire family and twist and take the bloodline of who I am, right? And of course, God laughed at that. But there's so much misinformation in these low vibrational cults. They're just twisted, mentally twisted. They all need assessment. They're very, very warped through their dark practices. So here's what the Father said. There is a falling off of species. We're seeing it right now. And that's what, if you go to the books and you understand and you go back to higher learning, higher wisdoms, which what I teach, all of these things have been talked about for eons. It's called the recapitulation or recombination. There has to be the level of, okay, where is the energy at right now? Where are we going to spiral into? How can I recombine myself? Higher perspective of who am I, what exists, what is going on. That's recombination. Recapitulation, who am I now? Where am I going with this now? So Father said there are species that are off because they haven't done enough. They haven't done enough healing work. They haven't done enough truth and making it right. That's how you redeem your soul. Your soul can have light within it if you're speaking on behalf of your spirit, if you're speaking on behalf of your soul and what your truths are, regardless of any. So that's what I offer you and I teach you. I teach you how to say, no, this is my spiritual truth now. These are my expressions. I'm not standing down for anybody. I know who I am. So that's not taking on anybody else's truth. It's not taking on lower church and state. It's not taking on lower vibrational 3D beliefs. And let people have 3D beliefs, but those beliefs will not carry on into 5D. There are no religions in 5D, it's just unity. There is no competition in 5D, it's just unity, because we all understand that we're all one. There hasn't been enough for those species to transmute. They haven't transmuted an eon's worth of dark karma and damage they've done. So there will be species that will be taken out, and it's called, God called it the virus, because they are affecting communities, they're affecting those that are of light, that are meant to keep perpetuating and positive higher oscillating momentum, because it's all about energy core vibration. It's all about the energy being momentized for the core collective to keep moving higher and higher and higher. Why my light information and my light wisdoms are so needed. So this is what they were saying, because God now said, there are new species that are coming in, because that's recapitulation. Where's the energy at right now? Where's the dark matter at right now? What energy? I'm an alchemist specialist. I transmute anything. I'm one of the best on the planet that can alchemize. That's why I've gone to all these places that only I can go, and Mother, Father called me to only the places that I can go. Is because I can transmute and I can alchemize. So I can take whatever is now and I can make it better. That's my gift. That's the divine feminine gift. So that is the seed of the garden. That's the seed of the Christ consciousness. Whatever is, I can alchemize it and make it into new, because I hold the Christ consciousness. I hold that divine golden seed. And so Spirit said, now that there's new species coming in, and this is what I know for a fact, because it's going to be reintroduced into the collective as creator gods. There are new species that have been out of the mix for a while, if you will, from that statement I just read from 281. There were species that were taken out because they hadn't done enough work. Well, behind the scenes in the galactic perspective, they have done a lot of work in helping humanity transcend, like the Draconian Wars. The Draconian Wars have done a lot, the Draconian beings have done a lot to assist humanity in healing part of the damages that they've done through the past histories, if you will, of the Draconian Wars. So they're being now reintroduced into a positive collective experiment, if you will, for the draconian light beings. They want to be known as the draconian light beings, and they're helping the galaxy re-establish balance, because as part of their rebalancing their karma from all of the doors. So again, be careful what you read and be careful what you're hearing. Not all draconians are bad. Not all draconians are negative. They've done a lot of work within the galaxy to heal their karma from the draconian wars. So God is now reintroducing the draconian light beings into the collective creator gods. This is where we're going to see things move in a very big direction, because they're very, very excited to offer their very beautiful energy. So I'm happy to be working with them in the systems of light. So I'm so grateful for that. But that is just how you go. That just goes to show you that whatever book you think you hold on to, it's changing, because God in the multiverse, and this is where people that hold and hide behind the Bible, they have no idea what's going on in the multiverse. They have no idea what's going on in the councils of light. They have no idea with all of the beings that are doing such beautiful work in the galaxy to assist humanity into, because obviously there's 8 billion people here. A lot of us on the planet have been through all of the galactic wars. So in the galaxy, a lot of the species are helping humanity heal a lot of the pains and the damages that have been done through the Draconian War, through the many reptilian wars that have gone on, and many of the species here are just recapitulated reptilian energies that are wanting to control and dominate resources. And that's where you'll see their energies and their agendas. It's about resources. It's about data, information, fight into their categories, because that's only the way their brain can work. They're not healed. They're not working their Christ consciousness. They're not working in crystalline energy. Because everybody is crystalline, everybody's carbon. Where you're operating from, the divine feminine, divine masculine energies, if you're not healing, you're going to be operating from that very patterned experience. So I just wanted to, that's a really, really important part. Go back and listen to it again. If you do have the Keys of Enoch, the Book of Wisdom, and if you go to page 281, there is a part there that Spirit said, no, that's not valid anymore. Because they're now species that have been doing a lot of great work in the galaxy, and now God wants to be a new part of this new Earth star creation. They have earned their way back into assisting humanity evolve. So they have earned their karmic right to humanity in becoming higher vibrational, higher evolved beings. And so the creator gods are going to be infusing and working a lot with the Draconian Light Council. That's what they've called themselves with me. And so that is just a beautiful piece of information that don't hold yourself to even this beautiful book that is the Keys of Enoch. There are some things that are changing. The book is changing. And so just know that. And that's a channel right from God. So I'm very, very happy to give that, because again, don't hold yourself to end of information as being the be all and end all, because everything's changing in the galaxy. There's beings that are working so hard behind the scenes to help humanity evolve, to help their species evolve, because they want to be a part of Christ consciousness. They want to be a part of unity, healing, and raising the vibration of their species. The Draconian light beings want to evolve their species. They can't evolve if they're doing the dark occult, hate, separation, attacking, sacrificing. Those are entropies. Those are entropy tactics. Anything in the dark occults where you're interfering with people's lives, you're doing dark occult voodoo, you're interfering, you're taking, you're sabotaging, you're binding, your destiny swap, all of those are entropy practices. And if anybody telling them any bit different, and anybody's trying to persuade you into the dark secret society experience, they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea who they are. They are not highly evolved. There is entropy practices, and that is what we have been talking about, is the organized secret society abuses, systematic abuses, slow dagger. All of those are entropy practices, and they will manifest themselves out because they cannot maintain the bare minimum. We are going to continue to ascend. We are being bathed in light every day. Your soul wakes up new every day. Your soul wants higher enrichment of itself to self, of the soul, and that is the Christ consciousness. We activate you to remember who you truly are. So this is today's channel. So I wanted to say that, because don't hold yourself to anything, even if you think it's a high vibrational book. Things are changing every day, and I'm so very happy for the Draconian light beings. They've done so much work in our galaxy. They've retained themselves to want to, as God said, ask yourself this every day: how important is your soul's evolution? Is your species important to your soul's evolution? Is your lineage? Are your children? Are your grandchildren important? And what are you doing every day to sort out for yourself who are you, what you exist in, and what's going on within you? And are you practicing with light? Your body can only do so much. You have to be the commandmentship of it, which is what I've taught. Go back to my 700 videos. My messages are the same. And share my videos. And thank you for sending feedback to YouTube about all the people that do and say what they do to throw me off and to put their hate. My channel is a free will channel. If you don't agree and you don't like what I'm saying, then you have the free will off. I have my right to be exactly who I am. I teach a high vibrational teaching. Spirit and Source Creator will keep me moving forward in the collectives. Spirit and Source will keep me moving forward in my passion's gift to create and bring sacred sound and bring sacred creative expression. So I'm not going to stand down. I'm going to keep going. It is my right to be exactly who I am, and I will not apologize, and I will not be lesser or smaller because other people want to just keep throwing hate in these people get paid to do what they do, and they are all being investigated. So thank you to all of the higher vibrational investigators that are working on behalf of Archangel Michael for humanity's justices, because the Divine Father's plan is for every human to have free will to ascend into eternal life, yes or no. It's up to each person to choose that for themselves. Do you want to ascend into 5D eternal life? You're not just going to be given a 5D mantle. You have to earn it. You cannot earn a 5D mantle by going onto people's things and discriminating and calling them weird and calling them this and that. You're not healed. You're nothing but hate and discrimination, so go heal. You don't have to come on my channel if you don't agree with it. Stay off. You're not here because you're paid to throw hate and discrimination. And then you have to ask if that's your compass. So you won't evolve. You will not go into 5D, and you're not ranked. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Archangel Michael, please protect the souls that are on the line, please, and remove these energies that are being nefarious and degrading. They have free will to leave my channel. I'm not asking anybody to believe what I say. Just go. You will see various aspects of the divine in the mirror of all that is in nature, and why the very fabric of your nature, your Gaia, is also reflected in your human makeup, and that which is found in, which is the source of breath. Remember, as I showed Source inhaling to take those viruses out, and inhales breath. So the elixir of life, which is the breath of life, which is the breath of Source. Source is breathing life in every moment, and there is a divine plan for humanity to ascend. Well, there is higher, obviously, because there's 13 dimensions just in this one universe, and there's infinite universes. How and why would we say only God can be this way? Only God can be found and read in this book. Only God can be talked about in only one form and one body. Only God can be seen and heard in churches, and only God can be seen in this way. How is that logical in anything when we have 13 dimensions? Source creator is diversity of all life. Why would Source say that divine feminine are not needed and not valued on the planet, yet we have no voice? We're not seen anywhere. So all things are Source spirit creator. All aspects of people and all humans have Source creator within us. Up to you to tap into that. There has always meant to be that remembrance of unity in any form that is found on your planet. There is always forms of Source creator in all that is nature. That is the majesty of Source. Source creates the infinite source within all forms of nature, i.e. the Fibonacci sequence, which is found in so many aspects of science, so many aspects of our cells, so many aspects of the brain and the tissues, so many aspects of flowers and seeds and gardens. The sequence, if you want to do your own research, research the Fibonacci sequence and sacred geometry and where it's found, and the vibrations of the Fibonacci sequence. These are all reflections, and these are all threaded connections of unity of Source creator. You will see that more and more people will be studying the results and the researches from crystals. I say crystals as in water crystals, and how that relates to the Fibonacci sequence and consciousness, because consciousness is a vibration. You're either high in consciousness or you're really low in consciousness, as you can see by the comments on the line. And again, if this is how you know the organized hate groups, because those that are on to really get higher vibrational information, they're just listening and they're sitting in silence and they're taking in the codes and the information. Those that come to hate and those that come to discriminate and those that come to push hate on you, they have their teachings and they have their beliefs. They don't have to be on my channel. It's free will for them to come on my channel. They don't have any right to say what I can say. I know what I know, I see what I see, and I'm going to keep speaking what I speak. That's God's. I get to be who I am. So these people are just coming on to trigger. They're just coming on to bully. They're just coming on to hate and discriminate. They have their free will to stay off my channel. Cluedo, you can, all of these IP addresses are being investigated. There are global investigators that are looking at everybody that comes on to do what they're doing and saying what they're saying. So you can just kick this person off the channel, Cluedo. Thank you. You don't have to come on my channel if you don't agree with what I'm saying. I'm not asking you to agree. So you can get off. They're just coming on to hate. This is what they do. They get paid for this. You must be so proud of yourself. You're not going to evolve, and you're not going to get a free pass into heaven. You're just not. And this is an everyday thing. Thank you so much. So how can you say what you say? How can you be how low vibrational and horrible you are? How can you be who you are, but I can't stand in my higher divine wisdom and I can't be me? I can speak about God in whatever way I want. If you go to the Gaia channel, do your own research, do your own investigation, study the Fibonacci sequence, that's source creator, that's God. It's seen in all nature, it's seen in all aspects of who we are. So you're just showing everybody on all the investigators that are going to be pulling up all of these IP addresses. So anybody that has looked into enlightenment, I mean, you're going to find this really, really important and very special, because there has been those very controlled negative and hate groups that have been mentally warped, and spiritual warfare of many enforcements to assist the negative imbalances on the planet. Those negative imbalances do affect matter and form. They affect nature. That's why you'll find the outbursts that are not, because there are some government agendas that do tamper with weather. We're talking about those that are not tampered with, that are just natural bursts of energy that Gaia has to rebalance herself. Every aspect of human life, and again, go do your research, do your scientific research on your own instead of just spewing hate. To get off my channel. The energy must be transmuted. So the energies, as you see, people that practice in dark occult hate groups and things like that, those energies have to be transmuted. And so those negative energies affect matter. It affects the cells of those people that are speaking and living the way they live, doing the negative dark chanting and rituals. It all affects their brain, it affects their matter, which we said earlier. Your body can only process and integrate so much. So if you're not doing any work of being light, of being love, of self-caring and allowing everybody to be who they want to be, everybody on the planet has their own unique expression and their own unique journey with Source Creator. So who is it for anybody to say, I'm not allowed to speak about Source and however I want to speak about Source? Who is that? So you obviously know there's mental manipulation and there's mental degradation and there's mental enforcement, mental domination and mental control. These people want you to believe about who you are in certain ways. And if you don't, you will get bullied, you will get targeted, and you will get sabotaged. So how is that? 8 billion people, infinite dimensions and infinite aspects of Source. How is it that I'm not allowed to speak about Source in my way? I'm a teacher, I'm a healer, I'm a vibrational creator. Who is it to anybody to say I can and cannot be who I am? I cannot speak who I am. You have no idea who you are. You have no idea about Source Creator. You have no idea about God. Because God is all loving. And how you're speaking and how you're behaving is not loving at all. It's hate. There are infinite dimensions, 13 dimensions. That 13 dimensions is all different infinite experiences of Source Creator. So who is anybody on this planet to say Source Creator God can only be expressed and explained in this way? How is that? So all IP addresses are being watched. I deserve to express myself like anybody else on this planet. I don't deserve the daily sabotage and abuse. And every be tracked. The quantum omni source is in all life. It is in every seed of life. It is in every animal. It is in all aspects of nature. If you do any research within the Enlightenment standing, even if it's H2O, so water molecules, being studied and how consciousness affects the H2O, and our bodies are about 70% water. So if you live in a 90% of your day in negative energy and negative entropy, your body will not maintain a barrier of oscillating source vibration to enter into 5D. You have to earn your 5D vibration. So, and if you're not doing any light work and if you're maintaining a negative entropy, your body will go into entropy and disease and illness. So I have to ask, is that your compass? Is negative, dark experiences your compass? So go and do your research about how negativity, how dark energy, how dark enforcement affects your matter and your tissues. Because it does, absolutely. That's why most of these people, they're speaking mental incoherence because they're not highly evolved people. They're negative, dark people that spew hate. They don't understand God. That's not godly on any level. And godly is you harmonizing with your divine feminine, right? There's no competition. There's no hate. It's just you're a harmonized being, right? You've done the healing. The soul, your body, innately seeks to have homeostasis. If your body is not in balance, it will reach out in its to find its own balance, whether that's a physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual outburst, an energetic outburst to find its balance. Every person God showed me, even Source showed me, even those that were in the negative cults and secret societies, they're doing everything they can right now to find their homeostasis because they've been so used to using people's energy and life force. Because they're in entity attachment, they're in demonic attachment. So the only way for them to survive is by feeding off other people's life force, because their life force is nothing but that entity attachment. This is where the higher policing and the higher have to do classes with me, and we have to understand entity attachment, how they behave, the behavior, as you're seeing, assessive behavior that of these entity attached beings. Their entity entropy, they're going to demise themselves into the demonic entity they have attached to them, because they're not doing the healing, they're not keeping that bare minimum basal oscillating light vibration. Everything is quantum vibration. Your reality is your core vibration. Vibration is, as you see, their core vibration will not be in the same vibration I am. I'm going to keep moving up, and I'm going to keep offering who I am. I have the right to be who I am. And again, go on the Gaia channel. I speak of all that is being taught there. This technology warfare and chemicals organize global groups that are paid and instructed to come against and enforce prostitution, crime, trafficking, sabotaging those that are speaking of light and that have chose a higher divine connection and practice higher order. This has been done in most cities of your human collective. Lightworkers are being sabotaged and attacked on a daily basis. There are global organized crime affiliates, and the elites and the crime ring leaders at the very top have been paying and keeping agendas for those of us to have been silent and suppressed, and sending their minions, as you see, to alter course or dismantle and deconstruct those of us that they're being told to target. So this is and that was part of the channel that I did last night. There will be a reintroduction of light wisdoms on the human collective, because Source Creator is going to open that up, because that's is to open up the collective to higher vibrational light wisdom teachings, which is me, and nothing will stop that plan. It's divine plan. It has been ordained through portals and pathways into higher evolution, because humanity has been calling from the divine collective heart, which Bashar and Daryl Anka and Lee Carroll have all talked about, is the collective heart consciousness, the collective heart pulsation. The collective heart of humanity is saying, we deserve higher light vibrational information, we deserve higher light vibrational leaders, we deserve higher vibrational light wisdoms. The collective wants to evolve beyond this. Therefore, thus then, if there is an asking, there is an answering. And I am divine higher order, along with many other channelers. As I said, I gave you examples. Go do your research. There have been those that have been instructed in warlike outbursts to go into the communities and to sabotage and systematically deconstruct those that they're being told. There is a quantum dark intrusion, which God called in God's word viruses, that on each affect and infect those that they are involved around. So they go in and they do their warped manipulation with your chakras. They actually take over. That's what it's called, and that's why Source called it a virus. These beings want to swap destinies with you, because they don't want to go through their karma. They're refusing to face their wounding. They don't want to do their healing. They don't want to do their entity detachment. They don't want to face what they have done. So they go in and they'll attach to anything that is light. That's why they use the light workers. They're given lists of the light workers. They follow the list of light workers. They go onto their channels and they abuse them and they bully them to try and get them. They try and get them reactive so they can get their energies into the chakra systems. They want to deconstruct the aura field. They want to deconstruct your protection field so that they can get in and start tunneling into your core vibration, your chakra, your spirit, and your soul. And so obviously there's no tolerance. They're all being dealt with and all their energy is being sent back. You have to understand energy, how entity attachment works, how and why they feed from their entities. It's obsessive, it's relentless. They will not stop until they are fed. And so we have to have a higher vibrational light understanding. And then we have to get to the core of under that, how and why and what and where did these people choose to detach themselves from a moralistic sense of self and choose to go into such degradation. These are MK Ultra hate groups, and they're global. Every city has secret society, warped masons, warped witches, warped warlocks. I'm talking about those that spend their day sabotaging and interfering with other people's lives for selfish gain. They live in envy, they live in jealousy, they live in greed, they live in gluttony, they have no sense of self. They have been deconstructed to such a point. And there are many of them that have been deconstructed mentally and emotionally and spiritually intentionally. They have been intentionally deconstructed. There are agendas and there are Epstein-like agendas behind it. And that one needs to be globally investigated. And I am the one that survived, and God will assure that everyone involved will be pulled out and they will be plucked and they will be breathed back into source and returned back into source, and they will not be given another 3T timeline. They haven't done enough work. They haven't done truth and they haven't made it right. Therefore, thus then, you're not going to be given their sacred life. You just won't. You haven't earned the consciousness. There will be no 3D timelines. We're moving into 5D. We have to understand quantum evolution. Your soul's evolutionary process is a very sacred process. Everyone has to face their deeds. There's not one human on this planet that will ever move into any aspect of next life, of incarnation, of anything without facing the deeds and making right. You have to redeem your own soul. And if you don't get these higher order laws, if you don't get spiritual laws, if you don't understand that, then you can stay in that small box and you can stay in your beliefs. You will not ascend. You will stay in the lower realms, entropy. And that's just law. That is the quantum law. Your soul must learn the lessons. 5D and beyond is unity and oneness. And if you cannot carry that, you cannot move into 5D. You just won't. It is quite that simple. The evolution of your species has been affected energetically within its DNA, the makeup and the matter form that make you up as a carbon crystalline being. There is source creator in all beings, but does your collective know and understand? Is it seeking within itself to know more, to be more? Why you will see the natural rebalancing for those that so desire to have a higher homeostasis, a higher oscillating light balance. There will be no more enforced government attacks through weather manipulation or agendas to disrupt those areas on the planet, and it will be no more Hunger Games. These people are given 6 months. That's Source's words, not mine. This is a universal channel from the Councils of Light on behalf of the Creator Gods and Mother Father's divine plan for humanity. These people are given 6 months for the collective to move forward in their calling of their heart's pulsation, because God's within each and every person. God knows the heart's creation. It's God's divine plan for everyone to be given their natural birthright, universal birthright to ascend or not. Nobody has the right to suppress humanity to not ascend. Nobody has the right to suppress humanity for a being like me not to be heard. I have my universal birthright. I will be exactly who the fuck I want to be. And nobody has any right to suppress me and say I don't matter. Who the fuck is anyone to say that I don't belong here? I survived decades of abuse. I'm going to be here, and I'm going to help liberate every child on this planet. Nobody has a right to enforce prostitution. Nobody has a right to enforce low vibrational, degrading, de-evolutionary beliefs on humanity. Enough is enough. God, Source Creator, said there is a no tolerance. This will not be tolerated. Every person that chooses to continue dark occult practices where they're interfering with other people's lives, they will be breathed back into Source Creator. Do you care about your soul's evolution? Do you care about your species continuing itself in eternal life? Will you stay in the lower dark realms? That's up to you. There is a no tolerance from here on out. And those investigators and those policing and those authorities that choose to make right, they will come forward with truth, and they will come forward with making right. And they will be protected and supported every step of the way. Anybody that is protecting and supporting me will be protected every step of the way. Those that bring truth from the secret society, who's been directing them to take people out, who's been directing them for MK Ultra attacks and slow dagger attacks, all of these secret societies across our planet, calling out higher elites, these higher corrupt leaders that have been bringing on and inciting warlike energies into the communities. Masonic, MK Ultra, Epstein-like horrible, inhumane experiences that they didn't have a legal ounce of right to do. Nobody had a legal ounce to touch my soul or my spirit. And everybody, every day forward, every hour, the legions and the trillionfold are assuring anybody that chooses to chant and wish negative on my name, everybody is getting it back immediately. There is a no tolerance. I will not be touched. I have my fucking rights. And it's multiversal. I'm very important to the multiverse. I don't have to prove anything, God will. Your small beliefs and your negativity and misogyny is not my problem. Stay off my channel. If I trigger you that much, stay off my channel. You will go into entropy. That is just the basics of quantum science. You're not holding a high vibration to move into 5D. Our planet will not remain in 3D. It must evolve. And the body is doing everything it can, but you have to help it. Anyone that does black magic, voodoo, dark deeds, dark interference, if you are not heeding the first 2 laws, right use of free will and non-interference, if you're choosing to not abide by these laws and not align with your higher self, then you will choose the entropy path, and you will be attended to by Source Creator itself, the hand of God. And the hand of God is being touched on everybody that has affected me, because I didn't deserve to sit homeless for 5 years. I didn't deserve to fight for my voice every day. I deserve to have an open channel just like everybody else. My teachings are needed on a world global basis so people understand light, they understand consciousness. I teach the same things that are taught on the Gaia channel. Why am I being suppressed and targeted? And it's blatant because you've seen it on my live stream. And we'll see when I upload how many videos and how many views are going to be messed with. This is blatant, I show it. And so thank God, God has put top investigators, and there will be the pulling out of the organized groups because they're, as God said in God's word, Source, Mother, Father, thank you, Holy Spirit, thank you, Holy Spirit, thank you, Commander Ashtar. There'll be very many people that will be surprised at who these beings are and the money that's gone into suppressing me and trying to take me out. The direct hits on my life. A healer? Really? I move little wormies off to the soil and that's your game? That's your compass? You got me on your watch list because I'm an advanced one and I refuse to die. You got me on your watch list because I'm an advanced one and I channel Source Creator messages because Source Creator is sick of your abuses. Source Creator is sick of you luring in children into prostitution. Source Creator is sick of you saying that you know God and you don't. Source Creator is sick of the blasphemy. Source Creator is sick of my life being attacked on every level. Withheld funds, withheld truth, withheld justice. I've spoken nothing but truth. My role is not to make anybody believe. You do whatever you want. Stay in low vibration. I don't care. But those that do care about evolving, those that do care about evolution, those that do care about Christ consciousness, those that do care about the Metatronic light body, those that do care about being their soul-infused self, those that do care about being higher evolved, those that do care about 5D Earth, those that do care about children not being trafficked, they have their right to heed me and to be on my channel. I have my right to have my channel seen just like any other channel. YouTube corruption, you will be called out. And there will be a criminal lawsuit. YouTube is being paid, a $450 billion company is being paid by Elise to silence my channel, and I show it every time I upload. Where is my justice? I have my right to speak about God however I choose. If there's snuff videos on the YouTube channel, if there's snuff videos on the black web, and I'm not being able to be heard, and I talk Christic light, I talk Metatronic light, I talk Ascension, I'm an ancient, I'm a future, I'm a celestial, I'm an advanced one, I'm a genius, I'll wrap circles around you in criminal court. And God will make sure each and every one of you are there. Because I am highly ranked, I am higher order, and I ain't going nowhere, cowboys. I have my right to be who I am. I am a matriarch on this planet. I ain't going nowhere. My feet are deeply, deeply rooted. I am divine feminine. I am the Messiah of the Christ consciousness. I ain't going nowhere. And your hate ain't my problem. God will sit you down because you need to be sat down. And there is a no tolerance from here on out. No tolerance. Every chant, every spell, everything you do to my channel, everything you do to my work, every time you copy me, every time you try to mimic me, every time you try and bring a false claim, every time you try and defame me, every time you try and bring blasphemy on me, God's had enough. And God can breathe you right back into source, and you ain't coming back because you didn't deserve it. You didn't earn your body. You didn't earn your oneness. You didn't earn your unity. You didn't care about the life you destroyed. You didn't care. If you don't care about the person next to you, if you interfere with their life, if you sabotage them, if you steal, if you withhold, you are not coming back. You haven't earned it. And your species will be taken out. That is the word of God. You have not earned your transmutation. You don't get a free pass. Is that serious on the planet? Do you care about the corruption going on in your city? Do you care about people being abused right next to you? Count on one hand those that have donated to me. And people have known that I've been suffering for 5 years. Homelessness and poverty. There's been less than 5 people that have donated. And everybody's had an opportunity. It takes less than 8 seconds to donate. And there's been people withholding my money, been people withholding important papers, there's been people withholding truth because they're getting paid to hate and target. So why is it that these hate people, why is it that these hate organized groups, they get to walk and be and they get to take people out and they get to sacrifice people, but I can't speak about love and source creator in high vibrational ways? Why is that? Why is it everybody else gets rights but me? Why is it that I'm homeless and everybody else is using and pilfering my money and my videos and my content? I haven't signed anything. I haven't given any information. I haven't given any permissions. Nobody is allowed to use my information or image. And they've made a lot of money off benefiting off my light and my energy. Now, God's cut everybody off. God has said there will be no more timelines. Nobody will manifest next to me ever again. Anybody of the 50 that has hurt me, blasphemy, defamation, exploited me, whatever you want to call it, because there's been so many crimes you can't even count. There's monies that are withheld that are not anybody's to touch but mine. I received a penny. The government has been using me and sabotaging and testing and human experimenting me. See, just see how much I can take. And I've survived it all. And yet there's been false claims all over the place about how crazy I am. I'm a genius. I ain't going to be tested because your tests don't matter to me. I'm multidimensional. Spirit said I would be tested between 185 and 189. I don't know what that means. I don't give a fuck. I know who I am. These people are nothing but horrible, evil people that will defame and degrade anybody and say anything and bring up false papers and Photoshop anything to make their narratives fit, because they're narcissistic sociopaths and their sense of self has been taken right out of them, and all they're doing is trying to leech on and bind on to somebody else so that they can get out of their karma, and they ain't going to. God's going to breathe it right in. So God said, watch what happens in the next 6 months. Every person right up to the top that's ever touched my life in a negative way, anybody else's life on an MK Ultra, Area 51, inhumane experiment, inhumane abuse, inhumane testing with weather, inhumane technology warfare, inhumane hacking, inhumane policing and authority sabotaging and slow dagger effects and attacks. Everybody will be touched by the hand of God. And that is a promise from God. And if you got anything to say about it, take it up with God. I will not be touched. I have my right to walk freely. I have my right to teach. I'm going to liberate every child on this planet, and that's my mission. And ain't nobody in this 3D realm, I don't give a fuck about your badge. You got nothing to say about it, talk to God. You will be sat down. God's had enough. The mother's got trillion-fold on my energies. The mother has trillion-fold on the inner realms, the upper realms, the lower realms. The mother's got trillion-fold around me. Nobody will touch me. And if you got a problem with that, if you got a problem with a divine feminine Messiah, take it up with God. You got lots of issues to heal, and why you're sitting where you're sitting and why you will not ascend. I bring higher order. I bring higher truth. That's my birthright. I get to. And if you're triggered and don't like what I say, get off my channel. That's your free will. But everybody is being shown right now, and all the investigators online, these people come online to hate. They come online to get you. They come online to bully you. They come online to do what they do, and they get paid for it. So the investigators have got you online just long enough that they're going to track your IP addresses, and they're pulling each and every one of you out. Because I have my human rights. I get to be who I am. I get to be exactly who I am. If you can make a snuff video taking out and tormenting people, innocent people, and you can be as hateful and as cruel and as evil as you are, I get to speak about God in my way. And I will transcend each and every one of you because I know who I am and I'm ranked. Humanity will be given its lifetime choice to ascend into higher vibrational knowing and to oscillate at a higher vibrational ride. Reclaim your ability to take yourselves away from community abuse, secret society abuses, and any corruptions that are threaded within your systems, and speak out on these corruptions. If you're not speaking out about it, you're saying, I'm okay with this to be on my earth. The body and the fields and the DNA and all of your cells and all of your blood are affected by the energy that you sit within and you allow. If it's positive or negative, your body is affected by it. Your body can only do so much, and your teams and your beings of your healing teams are doing so much that they can in the ethers, but you have to be accountable and responsible for your vibration, which is what we talked about, and everybody on the Gaia channel and every channeler speaks about the same thing. You are 100% responsible for your vibration. Reclaim your power, reclaim your light, understand your soul fragments, understand your divine feminine masculine energies, and heal what needs to be healed every day. I've written 3 books about Ascension. There's much information. If you go back and do your own research, there's much wonderful works about awakening, the awakening process. Go do your research. I speak of the awakening process. I speak of a multiversal God. I speak of an omnipresent God. I speak about quantum energy. I speak about quantum God. I get to. If Lee Carroll can be a channeler and have his channel open up to the infinite people, if Daniel can have his channel open up to the infinite people, if all of these other channelers can be open to the people, why can't I? Why am I being suppressed, and why am I being blocked, and why am I being sabotaged by 30 people that come online and throw hate? I show it every time I do a video, and why 2 months off? The abuse is blatant. There hasn't been one stitch of justice come my way, and the hand of God is going to bring it down. God's given everybody their chance to redeem, and the only way you redeem is what we talked about, because if you care about your soul, you're going to bring truth for your spirit, for your soul, and you're going to redeem by making right. Nobody had a right to touch my money. Nobody had a right to touch my name. Nobody has a right to chant my energy. Nobody has a right to use my energy. Nobody has a right to harvest anything of me. I'm a sovereign being. My light belongs to me. You didn't earn it. You don't know who I am. You never knew who I am. I don't talk to anybody. I live a hermit life in prayer. Nobody knows me. You don't have a right to speak on me. And God's going to prove that. Take it up with God, and God's going to show everybody there is a God. The collective hearts have chosen light wisdom, and there will be a unification to source those that so desire and choose to go on the path of ascension. It is your will and your determination to bring all such Hunger Games to an end. Ringleaders and abusers and those that choose to harvest and use dark occult practices with no permissions on any level, they abuse spiritual laws, they abuse human law, they abuse universal laws. It's up to each and every one of you through your will, your direction, and your intent, because that's how you create your reality, your direction, your intent, and your will. What are you creating for yourself? What is your reality? Are you a part of the collective unification? Are you a part of collective peace? Are you a part of collective harmony? And what leader doesn't want peace? What leader creates agendas where they're inciting anger and hate groups and seeing 30 people at a time to come and do dark magic on you? All your energies and all your magic back. There is a no tolerance. Everybody's going to get their return. And also Spirit said, those that choose to continue in the secret societies and continue to abuse dark occult practices, they will not be protected and they will not be supported. So any demonic energies they send and on all of their practices, it will return back to them immediately and they're not protected. Their ancestors are taking a step back. Their ancestors are not protecting these people anymore. The Divine Father's will is the will. And the ancestors many of them are disappointed that these people have left their lineages right out in the cold and they've chosen not to heal and not to transcend. The secret societies will go to the authorities and they will bring truth about who has been directing them, who has been paying them. There will be whistleblowers all over the planet. And that is a prediction from Source Creator. Mark it on your calendars. I wrote it in my channel this morning. Creator and Source Creator will only give those channels and those informations to those of us that are initiated. When you do what is right in the alignment of your own spirit, of your own soul, on behalf of your spirit, on behalf of your soul and the greater good, touch not my anointed, right? Use of free will and non-interference, very basic. The law of balance. If you're not in balance, you're bringing everybody else out of balance. And Spirit said those viruses will be taken out. They're throwing the will of God. They're throwing Divine Father's plan. They're throwing the collective creative consciousness. They're throwing the base omnipresent light consciousness out of balance. And they will be taken. And that is God and up to their soul. If they choose to refuse and remain in hate, they will be moved. As I said, if you're not healing, you will be moved. If you ignore and do nothing when you choose degradation, the body, mind, and the spirit and the soul can only do so much. It must maintain the base oscillation of an ascending planet. Our planet is ascending, it's moving into new galactic space. That galactic space is becoming greater and greater unified with our galactic families. We have to maintain a multi-vibrational, multi-dimensional, oscillating light consciousness. By integrating the darker aspects, you raise and higher consciousness of your light aspects, which means those sheaths of Christ consciousness come and they sit on your soul. They come and sit on the sheaths, the fields and the bodies of who you are. You start harmonizing more with your higher self, which means you get to raise your consciousness of a multi-dimensional experience rather than a linear. So the Christ consciousness is very multi-dimensional. You can wake up one day knowing something you didn't the day before. That's becoming soul infused because you've cleared away that density. You have earned the right for that information to come forward. That's why a lot of our sacred temple teachings will just start to come online, if you will, because we've cleared that density and those keys and those key codes to the universe, those keys codes to transcend the matrix, those keys codes to transcend illness and deprivation. All of those are coming back online and you just start becoming a higher soul and being because you're oscillating in your higher Christ consciousness. There's actual sheaths that your teams place over top of you that are crystalline. And those crystals, I've talked about them in my videos a long time ago. When you're clearing out those lower aspects, you also get to reach those higher sheaths that are more multidimensional when you can just know something you didn't know yet the day before. That's multidimensionality. Your brain has to be adjusted. All parts of your brain have to be adjusted for you to understand and walk into a 5D reality. And this is why a lot of these people that have been practicing the dark occults, they haven't done on any level multidimensionally. They're still sitting in low vibrational, I'm only learning from this book, I only hide behind my book, I only practice this is the only God I know, this is the only God I want to know. They will not ascend. They cannot carry the capacity of a 5D brain. They just can't. They're in such dark entropy and they will manifest themselves out. There's the only way. It is a quantum experience. We have to understand quantum energy. We have to understand quantum science. You have to understand the quantum oscillation of your cells, the speed that your cells oscillate in. You have to remove those lower vibrational dense beliefs of boxes, of limitation, of suppression, of control, of all of those things that is dogmatic church and state. Your body simply cannot grow and comprehend itself in higher cognizing light if you're not practicing in light. Remember, cognition is consciousness. Once you've cognized an idea, like if you can go into a temple and you can expand that temple through your thought, that's a 5D thought practice. where you're manifesting from thought. If your brain and your mind cannot comprehend that, you haven't cognized it, you have not caused higher vibrational thinking. Therefore, you cannot be 5D. That's why, again, any of these cults and practices and warped Masonic people that think, and voodooists that think that they can swap your destiny and be a 5D person, they can't. Their brain has not been prepared. They just can't. Cognizing is understanding multidimensionality. If you are not connected with your higher self, if you are not connected with the higher self and you're not getting 5D visions and you're not getting 5D downloads and you're not getting 5D source creator information and inspiration, you will not go into 5D. I talk about on all of my videos, all of the beautiful visions that I'm given and how I'm an interfacer with the collective and I'm an interfacer with source. I can talk about any vision that I get. It's a multidimensional vision. It's not linear. My brain has been enhanced. My brain has been prepared for multidimensionality. Go to any of the channelers, go to any of the Gaia channels, you have to be understanding multidimensionality. You cannot just pop into brain has to be rewired. You have to rewire your memory process. You have to rewire what your beliefs think about who you are. Are you a magnetic creator? Are you magnetizing your reality? Do you understand about quantum science? Are you understanding the divinity of your creative expression? Your creative expression is everything to who you are as spirit. If you're not practicing creative expression uniquely for you, then you're following somebody else's energy. Again, your outer is more important than your inner. We want to retrain you to go within. Your creative expression is everything. Who are you? What are you sending out to reality? What are you bringing back? It's all about your quantum exchange. And again, go do your own research. Everybody is responsible for healing their divine feminine masculine energies so that they can transmute the darker energies and the soul fragments or the psyche fragments, as we've talked about, to prepare their body for light body activation. Light body activation is what I just talked about. There's those sheaths where your DNA gets activated, your gifts and skills get activated, you just start remembering things, you just start becoming more of a prophet, you start wanting to write poetry, maybe you had another lifetime as an orator, maybe you had another lifetime as a pianist. What those creative gifts are, they just become active because you've earned them. You've earned them in another Akashic timeline. So as you do the healing of those densities and you integrate it and you call it in for harmonization, you actually get those gifts. As you become higher creative, and that's why all of our entertainment industries, if you will, I hate that word industry, it's going to become more and more creatively driven and expressive, and why those that are wanting to suppress your creativity and suppress your expression, the 3 E's, if it's not the 3 E's, then it's not evolutionary and you won't ascend. So be very discerning where you're placing your energy of direction, intention, and focus. You want it to always be in the 3 E's, creative, creative, creative. 5D is a non-linear, multidimensional experience. There is more light harmonics at a base level in a 5D experience. 3D is not 5D. 3D is linear. It's memories, it's past, present, future. That is not 5D. 5D is about unity. There is no religions. There's no separations of competition. 5D is unified with your higher self, meaning that all aspects are you. Everything before you is an aspect of you. Everything before you is an aspect of a shadow or a light, and what is it showing you? What is it teaching you? And how can you integrate it into unity and oneness? Accept, acknowledge and accept and allow all things to be all source, and let source take care of the karma. Source, just as quick as a breath, can take care of anything that is not in alignment of the bare, base, minimum collective vibration. Humanity has its right to evolve in light, period. That is the #1 universal law of the divine will. And the divine will support anybody that chooses to evolve. Equal measure. That is a divine God promise, and God will support each and every single person, as everybody has been shown through my life story. I will be supported by the highest of the heavens. None will touch me. And there will be grave consequences that will be irreversible if they so choose to continue the hate, sabotaging, taking out, slow dagger processes. They don't have a right. Nobody has a right to touch my energy. They don't have a right to speak my name unless it is benevolent context for job and collaboration offerings. Because I am a creator God, and I will be exactly who I am meant to be, and nobody has any right of an ounce to think and handle me and tell me who I'm going to be and put me in a box. Like, it's so abhorrent. I am one of the original ones, Joanna Celeste, to have the Pleiadian download to talk about the Adam Eve project. I have many videos that talked about the Adam Eve project. This is why we're healing the divine feminine masculine energies within us. Who are we? We're transforming and transmuting the lust energies into love. And why many of you that are going to be calling in soulmates and twin flames are going to be starting to look at the foundations of what is a best friend. and rebuilding those lust relationships, friends with benefits if you think, and three-strike rule type of energies. Those are all lust energies where you're not caring about yourself as a soul. Is that a version of a best friend? What does best friend mean to you? What is a soulful experience for you? Humanity is evolving into a new series of Adam-Eve project energies where we've evolved beyond the lust energy. And that's what the original Adam-Eve story was about. And there was many misguidances and many misinformations, but now we're evolving into a higher state of consciousness. No, I want a best friend. Why? Because you're a best friend to yourself. You've healed your divine feminine masculine energies. My love for myself, I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep falling in love with myself. I love the version of me who I am. I love my interfacing with God. I'm going to keep being who I am. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep falling in love with myself. I'm going to keep healing. I'm going to keep doing and being exactly who I am. Therefore, then I'm going to attract somebody that also wants to be that best friend for me, support and love me and honor me and be there for me. It's not going to be based on lust anymore. It's going to be based on soulful evolution. You have to be there for yourself first. Who are you? What do you exist within? What's going on within you? Do your daily practices of self-love and self-exploration. And are you expressing yourself as a soul? Or are you allowing yourself to be around fake, pretentious, fake, superficial people because that's all they care about, but that's lowering your vibration? Is that really a soulful experience for you? Are you being in your Creator God energy? And so it's up to everybody to decide that. I'm just giving you information of how you move about ascension. There are spirals of ascension. We're moving into a new directive. We're moving into a new energy, and everybody is going to have to level up or not. It's up to everybody's free will with God, right? Do you care about your soul's evolution? I'm showing you the way. Again, there's lots of other channelers and light workers. All have been spoon-fed by such messengers and masters like Joanna, and they have been nothing but targeted and sabotaged, relentlessly stalked and to be taken out. What are your chances of evolving if this is your divine compass? You will sit in the lower religious state and discriminatory boxes that you've chosen to separate yourself from everybody else on your planet. Everybody within your planet is your brothers and sisters, and yet you have been taught and told and shown separation and discrimination of every kind. There are false leaders that have been directing you into data profiling and simply wanting you to remain in de-evolved state because it's easier for you to control. Spirit is the only quickener, light is the only wisdom, and unity is the only game. So if there's anything that is outside of that, then you know that they are false prophets, you know that they are false in their speech, you know that they're mimicking other people, and they're not proper leaders. The highest vibration on our planet right now is to speak of human healing and light wisdom consciousness. That should be the only thing that we're focusing on right now. And it's not. So again, who are you? Such government programs, Area 51, inhumane programs and agendas, and military like hacking and attacking those that are innocent lightworkers and healers and keeping them in utter poverty and degradation, and then blaming them and creating false claims and false criminal stories, all will be dealt with from the Divine Creator's hand. We have been called from the Divine Creator's words, not mine. The advanced ones, such as the Project Stargate and MK Ultra, like I am from, Spirit has classified me as an advanced one, and I have special DNA that has been taken and made from many clusters of star systems and celestials, plus I'm an advanced human. And so this is why people that don't understand me, people that get triggered by me, they can just go away and heal, but they don't. They just want to keep attacking me until I die. So how okay is that? So I don't get to be me, but you get to be you? So you just keep wanting to attack me and kill me because I trigger you because I'm a higher vibrational being and I'm an advanced one. I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to be handled. So how's that okay? You get to put me in a program I didn't agree to, I didn't sign anything for. You get to sabotage and send 50 people at on a daily relentless basis, on a yearly basis, and I get nothing that I'm owed. I get nothing, I get no human right, I get no justice. I get stalked, I get followed. Every one of my systems get hacked. Every one of my systems get pilfered. Everybody's using my light. Everyone's benefiting from me and I get nothing. I get living homeless. How's that? Living off my money? And doing false claims and photoshopping everything they can with my ID number and my name? I haven't signed anything about a divorce. I've been estranged for 8 years. I don't have a posse. I don't have a circle. Me and God. That's it. I heal. That's what I do. Why you can seek unity in the geometry and the natural elements of your planet. They're all around you. Go and do your own research with regards to the Fibonacci sequence, the natural elements and sacred geometry, and what is the connection. There's a divine plan for evolution, and it's always being shown all around you. The Father's will that I will not be touched in the ethers or in the physical. I am a matriarch of the heavens. Programs of light will be eternally lifted and honored from all that I have brought forward, because people on the planet don't even understand the amount of alchemy that I have transmuted. what I've carried. I've carried cities on my back, and people have been harvesting off of me in such sick and horrible ways while I sat homeless and suffering. So people have no idea about the light and the consciousness and the work that I do in the ethers. I do a lot of dreamtime healing for a lot of the people on the earth that have been abused. And so we are very proud of Joanna and all that she has done and survived through that she shouldn't have. She has still brought forth daily light and daily teachings and prayers for future generations. She is instrumental in the divine plan across the multiverse, and the Father will enact immediate consequences on any such continued inhumane, illegal, disconnecting, abhorrent abuse, from withholding from her in resources, attacking her on a daily basis and her family and her vessel. There is no such tolerance, and all have been given their notice. There's more and more evidence every day, obviously, as we've all seen. She is a purveyor of the divine soul's plan for the multiverse, and she is a part of the hybrid program to advance light and programs, and she is a speaker of the divine will and the divine Father's plan, and she will be lifted on every level. And there will be grave consequences for anybody that tries to again continue the systematic abuse and underground selling of the divine spirit that she has earned and honored in her own right, and she is ranked, and why she was tested and initiated with the global leaders, and she was the only one to pass. She has been a survivor of the organized, directed agendas of sabotage and death, and in the disbelief that they did not expect her to survive her attackers. Now they're all trying to scam her and scurry. Just know, anybody that was in those secret societies, just know that the higher ups will scapegoat anybody. They don't care about anybody that they've been paying. So just know that. That's why Spirit and God is saying that everybody in those secret societies, you need to call out everybody that's been involved, because those higher ups that have been paying, they don't give a crap. They're going to scapegoat. So just know that. That's why God said a lot of whistleblowers are going to be coming out globally. And now all that is coming to truth. There is redemption on the souls that show the collective from the secret societies that choose to redeem and bring truth. It is intolerable to enforce slavery. It's intolerable to enforce poverty. It's intolerable to enforce withholding of funds. It's intolerable to enforce someone to be taken out of their reality by gangs and groups simply because they want to silence the light workers and they want to silence the advanced ones, or they want to take their gifts and skills. Again, they're not informed. They don't understand. So again, to continue your light work, your daily light work, it's very simple, easy tips that I talk about on all my videos. Get out to nature, work with your teams every night in your light healing. So if you want to book a session with me, do your evening light healing sessions with your teams. It's your responsibility to do as much as you can to keep your core vibration as high every new cycle of ascension, right? So intentionally work with light, intentionally work with Source Creator, the angelics, your celestial teams, and clear out any beliefs and any triggers that are coming up every day. Your triggers are your best friend, because it's how you operate and that's how you get your light, right? Because you're transmuting that darkness, that density. The essence of God is felt in everything. For vibrational healers, again, not all healers are the same, not all conduits are the same. There's been a great abuse of power at all levels, great abuse of the human rights on every level, and there are criminal laws that will be brought forward from those that have been a part of the systematic abuse. So that was the channel that I wrote in subsequent addition to the source channels that I do. So I'm going to let everybody go because my time is up. So anybody that would like to donate, I'm so very grateful for your donations. Thank you, Cluedo, for always being in the chat room. Your love, and Spirit and Source Creator is going to send you so much love and light for all the help and the love that you've given me over the years. Sending you love and light and protection always. Lord Michael, protect all of my beautiful disciples and beautiful clients that allow my voice and my love to be heard and seen. We love you so very much. We love you, I love you, I love you. Those that are really moving forward, it's going to be the most profound creative time. Please, please, please keep your 3 E's every day, every day, every day. And speak out about secret society abuse. Speak out about secret cult abuses. Those that have been in those situations, it is your last chance to alter course and bring truth and redemption to your soul. You're not going to be given a free ticket. You have to redeem your own soul's actions and beliefs and your deeds that you have done. There's going to be no free tickets. So that's the word from God. So thank you, everybody. I love you so very much. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for your donations. If you want to book a session, collective collaborations of the most benevolent high, I'm open to creating light wisdom classes for the level of investigators on our planet. We need to bring higher vibrational evolution to what we understand to be psychology, what we understand to be psyche wounding, what we understand to be entity attachments, and how and why and what and where is the core human wounding. Looking at the program, looking at the the false ideologies in church and state and start evolving humanity into a higher state of consciousness of who we are, what we exist in within, and what's going on within us. So thank you so much. I love all of you. Thank you so much, and please share our videos. Take time to be in nature and love yourself, because I love you and Source Creator loves you. Mother, Father, love you. Mother, Father, love you. Amen. Bye. Rainbows.